first at 6, giving teachers the upper hand when students get out of hand. This school year, teachers in Maine have more authority to remove them.
Yeah, the I-team finds the state rolled back some of the rules surrounding the practice of restraint and seclusion. They're set to take effect in a little over 2 weeks.
We're on your side looking at what the rollback means and how often restraint and seclusion are happening in Maine classrooms.
Prior to 2021, Maine led the nation in restraining and secluding students. So much so, lawmakers moved to limit its use, only allowing it when a student posed an imminent danger. But this school year, that protection has been partially rolled back.
Everywhere I went, there would be teachers who would ask to meet with me privately and basically express their incredible concern.
Representative Holly Sargent led the bipartisan push to amend the law, saying it had unintended consequences, like teachers resigning.
Bitten, punched, spit on, sworn at in a classroom, and that she felt that she had no recourse.
The amendments were backed by Maine's largest education associations and veteran teachers who said they felt powerless to control their classrooms.
Made very minor tweaks.
One of those tweaks, removing the word voluntary when it comes to escorting a student out of class. Now, should a child refuse to leave, a teacher can forcibly remove them without a formal report.
If you couldn't remove a dysregulated student, basically, teachers felt that they had to evacuate all of the other students.
But child advocates warn these changes will allow more incidents of restraint to go undocumented. The I-team found in the 2023-24 school year, only 68 of Maine's 300 school districts reported any data to the state regarding the use of restraint or seclusion. Of the thousands of incidents that are documented each year, the most common involve special education students.
We had never really heard of the word restraint or seclusion.
Crystal Emerson says she learned about the practice when her son, who has an anxiety disability, entered 2nd grade in Ellsworth.
To then use a closet-sized room to shut him in and hold the door while he screamed to be let out, as an adult, that's terrifying, let alone a 7-year-old that is terrified of being alone.
She says it happened dozens of times.
We're asking him to come the next day and be ready to learn in the same space that he just received this horrific trauma on.
Emerson says the current system doesn't work for her child. Dr. Ross Green, founder of Lives in the Balance, says it doesn't work for any.
If all we're doing is teaching schools how to de-escalate and restrain kids, this problem will be around forever.
Green wants to rework how school staff are trained and create a more proactive approach.
Schools already spend a fortune learning how to de-escalate kids. The same training they get on de-escalation also teaches them what to do when de-escalating doesn't get the job done, and that's restraining kids, pinning them to the ground. Both are late.
I'm hearing from teachers who are saying they're overwhelmed, that they need this tool of seclusion and restraint to keep the classroom under control. I'm sure you hear that.
All the time.
What's your response?
My response is that the reason you're overwhelmed is because of all of those unsolved problems you inherited. Restraint and seclusion isn't going to solve any of those problems, and the buck has to stop somewhere.
It did in Topsom. In 2018, MSAD 75 recorded more than 300 restraints and seclusions involving just 15 students.
At that point, we started to get very concerned.
Special Education Director Amy Hall says it wasn't easy to apply Dr. Green's strategy.
Was there any pushback at first, or?
Absolutely. It was very difficult for people to shift their mindset, especially for students that were escalating.
Today, the district reports fewer than 10 cases of restraint or seclusion a year, and Hall says they'll keep at it because she believes it's what's best for both teachers and students.
And then when people started to see the results, less kids were getting hurt, less adults were getting hurt, people were happier to come to work. I think that's what made the big difference.
A new report from the Maine Education Policy Research Institute found teachers statewide feel overwhelmed by increasingly challenging student behavior and say they lack training to handle it. The spokesperson for the Maine Department of Education told us today a specialist is available to provide expertise and technical support to schools specifically for Chapter 33 practices regarding restraint and seclusion.
Now to an